go. Hello, and thanks for joining us on this episode of Grown Women, Growing Wealth. It's great to have you out there and listening to us. And I am Daphne. Uh, hey, I always talk Bitcoin. Hey, the smart money chick. What else? So it's great to be here with my awesome broadcast partner, Roberta Rivella. How you doing, Roberta?
I'm great. I'm Roberta Rubella, and I am a marketing strategist. And very excited to have on the show today with us Ed Truxell. Ed is a video advantage. He helps coaches video marketing for realtors and entrepreneurs to get organized and be successful using video. Welcome to the show, Ed.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. And boy, Daphne, I'm loving the radio voice.
Okay.
She's a great radio voice.
Yes.
So, Ed, video is all the rage these days, right? Everybody says you got to do it. It's a little scary, it's a little intimidating, but a lot of people are out there doing it. Give us a little bit of a rundown. Who should do it? Why should they do it? And then we'll jump into the scary parts.
Yeah, the scary parts. Yeah. For those listening, they're probably already like, this is scary enough, just talking about video. But yes, to answer your question, who should be doing video? And I'm going to say everyone who runs a business and wants to grow and sustain it. Like, it's as simple as that. When we look at what we're doing, why we're doing it, and where we want to go, we have to ask ourselves what's required of us in this moment, and also think about what is going to be required of us in the future. How can we future-proof our business? And we all know that we have to be online, and the pandemic made sure that if we weren't already online, that was going to be the one to get us to be online. Now that we're here, we have to understand what is basically the bare minimum these days for having an online presence and doing business online, especially when it comes to social media and trying to grow organically. And that is video. And you creating video, but not just creating video, you actually being on video so that people can see you, they can hear you, and they can feel your energy and really get to know, like, and trust you. So everyone who's listening right now, if you are running a business, you're an agent, you are a solopreneur, you are a mom and pop shop, you need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable and start recording videos, and ideally have you in those videos. Now that's going to lead us into the scary part, which we'll talk more about throughout here. But I just want to put that out there, is just know that's basically a requirement that you're going to have to get comfortable with if you want to grow your business online. And when I say grow, also, I don't mean you have to make $100,000 every year, or, you always have to keep going to that next level. I'm talking about growing sustainable businesses that can keep you here for the long run. And whatever that magic number is for you, that's great. But we're talking about making sure that you don't get forgotten and left behind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part.
Well, when so much of the message now comes in that form, right? Like, not just, it used to be TV ads were the video. Then obviously we all know and watch videos on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, that it's almost like your message can get drowned out or is just plain non-existent, unfortunately. Like, you got to get to people somehow and them hear what you're about. So video, here we go.
Yes, it's so true. And I know before the show, Daphne and I were talking about video and a little bit about her experience with video and kind of where we're at now. I don't know if we want to touch on that yet, or
Yeah, we can go ahead.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So Daphne, tell us just a little bit of what you were telling me, because that will help segue into what our conversation was.
I came out of life insurance. I'm a recovering agent, and I got into doing lives on the Facebook business page and also on Instagram. And it was a way to stand out from other agents. So what's the rule? It's education. Well, it's like three things that folks are looking for, or that you should try to do. One of the three things that you should try to do on video. So mine was education, was to talk about life insurance, but not be salesy, just
Mm,
to give you some information. This is what a term policy is. This is what a beneficiary means. That sort of thing. Um, and then, of course, you have your link in the bio and so forth. So
yeah.
then for a while, I was doing a morning motivation thing, just trying different things out because people like video. That's one thing you do notice. Because when you're posting, particularly on Instagram, you got a static image. But if you get some type of movement in it, whether it's captions or actual video itself, you're always going
Yeah.
to get more views and a bit more interaction, comments, and things like that.
Yes, it's so true. And, you know, I love that you bring this up because we have to realize that the numbers don't lie. Over 80% of all internet traffic is video based. Over 80%. And we
Wow.
know that with research that over 97%, because of the pandemic, I always round it up to 99%
Mhm.
of people research online before
Hmm.
ever contact you. So they're looking at Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever they can find you. They're going to look for you and browse real quick. It could be 3 seconds, it could be 50 seconds, who knows? But they're going to browse and see who you are, what you do, and if there's a vibe. Like I like using that word vibe. Like it's a vibe check.
Hmm.
Do I connect with you? And yes, a picture can be worth 1,000 words, but think about a video and how that can help you get to know, like, and trust somebody without ever meeting them. Like, that's the beauty of it. You know, I had one of my real estate clients, real estate agents, who was in my program, learned how to use the video, and started putting out videos. Now, at the beginning, it was a little hard because of course people aren't engaging like we hope they will in social media world. I mean, all of you listening, you probably have your posts, whether photos or videos or just text, where you're like, oh, why am I even doing this? It's so daunting. Nobody's commenting, liking, loving, sharing, all of the things, right? But that doesn't mean that we stop showing up, because our audience is out there. They're waiting for us. And just like with this agent, they kept posting their videos. They kept improving their videos. And then they just recently shared with me that they had somebody, a woman, who is a new listing. And the reason why she started working with this agent is because of her videos. Now, this is a woman that the agent did not know beforehand, but it's because of the videos and her consistency that the lady who now is her client wanted to work with her. She got to know, like, and trust her through that video journey. And they never commented, as far as I know, they never commented, liked, or shared or whatever on her videos, but they're watching. And I call those our secret followers. And those
Hmm.
are the people who are watching us. They're getting to know us. And then when they're ready, keyword, when they're ready, those are keywords actually, that's when they'll reach out. Not when we're ready, when they're ready.
So, how do you say I'm someone who's dabbled here and there, like Daphne's done her live. She's actually a lot better at video than most people, I think. But you've done some here and there. Like Ed was just on my group coaching and did a little workshop for the people in the group. So
Awesome.
they've done a dabble here and there. Okay. So how do I become let me jump on here and record this video and pop it on Facebook, and then 3 months later I put another one, or whatever. Where does that system come in? Is there a way that you have of helping people do, okay, first you need to do this, then you need to do this, then
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So what I work on with my clients is being able to set up a system. It really comes down to getting organized and understanding that you have to have a plan, and you have to have a plan that's going to work with your busy schedule. Listen, I get it. We are all busy. We all don't have time for recording a video or being on social media because we're doing all these other things for the business. But those are just excuses that we tell ourselves when we don't want to do something, or we're just not sure if we want to do it. And I say excuses because I can almost guarantee I can find the time for you to record your videos and to share them. Because once you get organized and you have a plan in place, you will be able to do this. And one exercise that I work on with clients is just getting comfortable with picking up their phone and opening the camera app and recording a video. It doesn't go anywhere. It's not going to be posted on social. It's literally just you getting comfortable with looking at your device, recording a video of yourself, and ideally watching it afterwards. Because we have to understand that the act of actually recording a video is pretty simple. Doesn't mean it's easy, but it's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger picture here is what happens before, during, and after that video. And I focus a lot on the before. We go through the whole journey, of course, but I focus a lot on the before because most people are worried about the technology, what camera, what lights, what mic, all of those things. But what we're not focusing on and really need to be is, what is our thought process? What are we feeling about video? What are we feeling about ourselves? It's all about getting comfortable with who we are and what we do, and being able to share that openly online in a video format.
Okay. So that's number one. I'm sorry, Daph, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You sound like you had some stuff in a row, so you go ahead.
No, so that's number one in getting organized is start with practicing a little bit, feeling your energy, helping yourself relax.
Yes. And also, you might be able to tell, for those who are watching us actually here, you might be able to tell there's a couple different things going on in terms of it. I know because, well, I think I know. I'm going to call it out here in a second, but there's different height options going on here. So Daphne and I are actually sitting, which normally I stand, but I'm sitting today. And Roberta, you're standing. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So there's different options that you can try when you're recording your videos to see what works for you. Now, I said that I normally stand because for me, it's a lot more comfortable to stand and be able to have a conversation with someone. I'm not in my normal location, so standing, it's kind of not, I won't be able to have my computer and my camera in a setup that's comfortable. So that's why I'm sitting. But if you try sitting and it doesn't feel comfortable to you, you feel a little too boxed in, because that's how I feel, well, try standing. And if standing doesn't work for you, then try sitting. It's all about getting comfortable with where you're at and being able to test different things. That's why I love how Daphne had shared. She was testing, going live on Facebook. For those who aren't familiar, it's called Facebook Live. It's live broadcasting like we're doing here. Or going over to Instagram and trying Instagram Live and seeing how that works. And live broadcasting, by the way, is now pretty much across the board on every single social channel.
Yes.
It's available. And it's preferred if you can do it. And I will tell you, when I first started, I didn't do all of this. I didn't want to do all of this. I was just like you, where I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera. I could do it, but I didn't want to. And I had to get good at it because I knew that running my business on my own meant I had to do something different. I had to market myself differently. And the only way that I was going to be able to do that was to get in front of the camera. Why? Because most people won't do it. And if they do, they won't do it consistently. So I had to have that conversation with myself. I had to check in with myself. I had to go through the mental process, the awareness process there, and be able to have those tough conversations and address those concerns and be able to keep moving forward and not let the thoughts or the technology hold me back from showing up, delivering the value that I wanted to present, and be able to engage with my audience, whether it's an audience of 0 when you're starting out or an audience of 1 million from wherever you got them from. Like, understand that that's not the focus. The focus is you doing the work, showing up in front of the camera, and sharing your greatness so that you can shine here online.
Right. And that's the important part about having some sort of outline, bullet points, something to keep you on track. Because carrying a show by yourself is a tough thing to do. Yeah. And building the consistency. Because I know that's why I wavered off.
Yeah.
Because I'd started a podcast before this one and I was by myself.
Mm.
But when you have a partner, someone to bounce, not just bounce ideas off of and split the work, but just someone to go back and forth with for the show itself, whether we're interviewing someone like yourself or whether it's just the two of us. The show goes along, it moves along. It's so much easier when there's two, makes the load lighter. So that allowed a consistency to develop where people can expect if they go to Spotify on Tuesday, there's a new episode, or Apple, or wherever it
Mhm.
is, that there's a new episode. So
Yeah.
but isn't consistency everything? Isn't just
Oh, yes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I've heard I'm working with the Instagram coach now. Shout
Oh,
out
cool.
Anjum. Uh, Post as much as you like, but do it consistently. And she
Yes.
actually said she said once a week is enough because you say, well, what's the magic number? And she was like, if you post every Saturday, you're doing good. You want to post 3 times a week? Post 3 times a week. She said, get away. I wouldn't suggest every day because most people don't.
Yeah.
Unless they've got a team, unless you're Gary V and
Right.
you're putting out crazy content. But Mr. Vanderchuck, so
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
think he
think
scared a
that's
couple
just
of folks off
Yeah.
because of the
well,
amount
'cause
of
he's
material he puts
relentless.
out. Yeah, because folks are real. Well, Gary V. Wait a minute. Gary V. has not just a team, but he has an in-house team. He's
Oh,
got a guy following him around. He's got people that chop that stuff up. I mean, give yourself a break. You're not Gary V. It's
And
okay.
20 years experience.
Oh yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I can usually do a video a day if I'm going in one spot. Like I'll try and do a theme for the week, but then sometimes stuff just pops in my head. Some of the best advice I got on it was have it set up, because Daphne's heard me curse like a sailor at technology. But have it set up in some system, like you're saying, Ed, be organized in a way to where when it gets time, you're like, okay, I know what I want to say. I know when I'm going to say it. I'm ready to push the button. That's not the time to fight with your technology.
No. Exactly. And that's the thing too. You know, another thing that I focus on is using your phone to record your videos. Like, I'm all about making tech stupid easy for everyone so that you doesn't hold you back any longer. Growing up, my mom was always working hard at her 8 to 5 job, 40 plus hours a week on the computer, doing all of the things, right? But when she left that job, she didn't know how to use an iPhone or iPad or even Google something. And that never sat well with me ever to this day. It's still, to think that somebody cannot be able to use something like Google to search for something, even though they are smart, talented, and fully capable, breaks my heart. And so my whole job is trying to make it simple and easy and effective so that you can actually do the work. Because it's not about just teaching you to go record your videos. Like, pick up your phone, hit the record button, talk. No, there's so much more that goes into it. And you have to have that knowledge and then those actionable steps so that you get those quick wins that keep you consistent and keep you organized, because those are the keys to your success.
Mhm.
Can you give us a quick rundown on that? Like what do you suggest in simplest terms?
Yeah. So, simplest terms is you're going to use your phone to record your
Okay.
videos. You're going to set up a quick schedule for yourself. Like we were just talking about, Daphne just mentioned, once a week. Simple. You can find 5 minutes. We're not talking an hour's worth of your time. You're talking, especially if you're just starting out, you're maybe talking 30 to 60 seconds.
Mhm.
Okay. We're really trying to just build the habit here. So most people will always ask, well, when's the best time to record my videos, or the best time to go live, or how long should my videos be? Don't worry about it.
Right.
Worry
We're
about
not there
showing up
yet.
and recording your videos.
Yeah. We're not
Because
there yet.
we're not there yet. And I'll tell you, the best time for you to record your videos is when you make the time to record your videos.
Videos. Yeah.
Like, because it doesn't matter if I told you Tuesdays at 4 p.m. over on Instagram, that's not going to matter to you if Tuesdays at 4 p.m. over on Instagram, you can't be there because you're
Right. You're
on
picking
playing
up
call,
kids. Yeah.
picking up
You're
the
picking up
kids.
kids. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have to really take a step back and look at what your schedule looks like and where you can put the time. So you're making an appointment with yourself to do this. And, I was just talking to a group yesterday and was mentioning it could be as simple as you starting with picking up your phone and just looking at it. You're not hitting the record button. You're not doing anything. You're just picking it up just to kind of feel it and hold it and trying that. And then work your way up to opening up that camera, hitting that record button, watching it afterwards, posting it maybe afterwards, posting it on other channels outside of the one that you focus on, putting that in an email. Like there's so many things that you can do with it, but you have to work your way up to that.
Mhm.
And it's all about getting comfortable. Another thing that you can do, and we were talking about this before the show, and Roberta and I have talked about this in her group as well, is lighting. I will tell you right now, lighting is the best thing for your confidence, for your picture, for your quality. Like everything comes from good lighting. And you don't have to have an expensive setup. And I can show you in a minute here an example of what the light will look like without lighting. But lighting is key. And there's a statistic of, I believe it's 65% of people watch videos without the sound on.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably the initial part. I don't know how long until they actually turn the sound on. But if you think about it, that makes sense, because think about your habits when you're on social media and you're sitting there going through your news feed. You're probably in a meeting, hearing the kids, running around town, at the gym, whatever. And so you're just browsing, right? You're listening to your podcast, your music, whatever. You're just browsing. So before you click on a video to actually get the sound, you need something interesting. Like we talked about earlier, Daphne was mentioning, education, entertainment is one of those E's that you can add in there. So you see a lot of people, dancing, pointing, woo, doing all these things to get your attention. And then once you find something that gets your attention, then you click on it, you tap, and then you hear there's music or they're talking, whatever may be going on. So part of getting people's attention is having good lighting. Now, I will say I'm a little picky right now. Mine is not the best because I normally sit in front of a window. I don't have them behind me. So I get really nice natural light. But I will show you, and you can tell that I have a light on, but I'll show you what happens when I turn off this light. Now I don't have any other lights on in here. Well, I have one against a small one against the wall. So we'll see if that does any difference. But do you see? And I'm going to shrink because I have that one against the wall. So this is what it looks like without my light on. Now I'm recording with an iPhone, so the camera, it still picks up a decent light in the back. Your webcam or your built-in webcam or your Logitech or something might not pick up the light. But can you see that if you just saw me in your news feed, you probably wouldn't click. I mean, maybe because of the hair, but other than that, you're probably not going to click on it. But when you see something come through your feed and it has some decent lighting there, you might be more willing to click on it because it pops out of that news feed. Especially if you're doing other things, with your hands, or you have text across the screen and things like that. So good lighting is key for your self-confidence. That's the biggest one. Let's not even worry about anybody else for a second. If you're trying to get confident on camera, you got to have good lighting.
Yeah. I mean, it can hide a multitude of sins on the face.
Yes. It really does, right? It like wrinkles go away, blemishes, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I agree with the lighting, number one, but cameras play a part. And that's why I'm glad you talk about the phone. And I was reading your site, and you said about 3 years old or less.
Yeah.
The phone.
Yeah, about your phone. Because if laptop cameras, unless you have an iPad, unless you got a Mac or an Apple product, man, stay away from those. And also cheap, the cheap cameras to go top.
The webcams,
low G's are pretty good.
Yeah.
But once you step away from there and you get the $20 models, the $30 models, on Amazon, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it can get painful because I'll actually leave videos. And then audio plays a part too. If you can't get a mic, get a mic. Even earbud mics are better than the mic that's on top of your laptop. And your phone mic is better than the one that's on top of your laptop. Again, yes, they're there, but come on, man. Just a few bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I watched a video that I did on my laptop. I did it because I was share screen on Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, and just full disclosure, Daphne instructed me on all these things quite a while ago, and all those things are in a bag in my desk drawer. So I'm on my phone right now, but I was like, it's fine. I mean, it's a laptop. It's going to have a good camera, right? So I'm looking back to this video that I wanted to maybe reuse, and oh my God, it's so bad. And I shared my screen with all this text on it, and I'm typing, and it's this whole demonstration. It is so blurry and so awful. I'm like, first of all, I may have said a few curse words, Daphne, but yeah, you're so right. And it's hard enough to do the whole thing, but to not do it in the simplest form, but also a form that's actually consumable. Because if I was watching that video that I did, I would turn it off. I can't read it. And I'm there typing. That's the whole thing. I'm like, Ed, tell your story. I'm going to type it out. And I'm doing that. And you can't see it. And it's not an old laptop, mind you. And it's not a cheap laptop.
Right. Laptop cameras, short of, I'll have to give Apple their due. They put very good cameras in their laptops. That is not standard for laptop producers, particularly on the Windows side. When you don't know what you're going to get. They don't care much. You can get an entry level Logitech, and you'll do better than some high end quote Windows laptops as far as the cameras are concerned. So, and oh Lord, the microphones. But I'm an audiophile. I thought it was just me, but then talking to other people, they're like, "Yeah, sound." I can't better listen to these people, particularly when you go to the only audio version of a particular podcast. It's like, I can't. So,
yeah, I kind of learned my lesson, Daph, months after you try to teach me.
So it's, I too have to watch the tech stuff when I'm dealing with folks because before life insurance, I was in the IT. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
kind of second nature to try to work through tech issues. You know, because we do flow charts and that's how we work. Start from the wall. Is it plugged in? You know, there's a flow to see do things work. Why? Okay, here's the problem. Okay, now we can go
Yeah.
about fixing it and things like that. But it is to get started. So oftentimes you find things. I guess you said that they're oversimplified to get people started, and then they get in there and it's like, but it's not 1, 2, 3, easy peasy.
Right. It's one of those things that, most of the clients that I've had up to this point have all done video before. So
Mhm.
creating video wasn't the issue. It was being able to get organized, have the plan in place that works for them, and
Okay.
be able to start being consistent with that and not be so overwhelmed by all of the tech and also all of the things that it should, could, or maybe does have in terms of, the titles, the captions, the the angles of the videos, like all the hooks, all the things. So it's really being able to break it down to the simplest form and having someone to remind you of having something broken down to the simplest form because we overthink. It's human nature and
Mhm.
we overthink the process. And being able to use what we already have in the palm of our hands, which
Mhm.
many of you are probably watching or listening to us on, being able to use that and incorporate that more into our work life is huge because
Yeah.
it's always with you. I always say, think of this as your personal assistant. This is mine, and her name's Ava. And she is my right hand woman. She's there all the time. She helps me on my photo shoots, on my video shoots. She helps me keep track of my schedule. She lets me know when I'm running late or if I have an appointment coming up. Like, she's amazing. And she's always with me. And I am so grateful for her because it's no longer just a phone. It's no longer just a device. It is someone who is there to help you through whatever it is that you're working on.
So once you're there, okay, you said, and I love that your first step is just turn it on. Second step's record something. Third step's watching it. Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
We got a schedule now. We put it on the calendar. We've practiced the videos. We're ready to get on the schedule and be consistent. What
Mhm.
happens next?
Then you got to figure out what you're going to talk about. That's always the big one, right? Is knowing your topic. So remember that you're the experts. So agents, business owners, you all know your expertise. You're doing it every day. So you have to be okay with knowing you're the expert. And that word expert might be hard for some of you to get used to saying to yourself because there's a lot around that, but I'm going to give you permission and you should give yourself permission to call yourself the expert. You don't need to know every single in and out piece of information. You're the expert. You're doing it. You're the expert. And you're willing to learn, to keep growing. So find out what topic you want to talk about today. What topic do you think might be relevant to your audience? If you're selling 123 Maple Street, well, what could you talk about for 123 Maple Street? Could you have the flyer with you and show it off because you spent money on that and you made it nice and it has your picture on there? Could you talk about the flyer and say, hey, we're out here in front of 123 Maple Street. The house is in the back here, and look at this flyer. Isn't this awesome? By the way, this house is 2,300 square feet. It has an amazing pool in the backyard, and I'll show it to you later. But right now, let's focus in on this front yard because can you picture yourself right here looking out onto the street through the white picket fence and looking at that park across the street? That park is a gem. I haven't seen one of these in a long time. Like, do you see how you can just take one thing, one topic. So we had the house, and I threw in some talking points, which we pulled a few off of the flyer. We also pulled a few out of thin air because we knew the property and we knew what was across the street that
The
would
park.
probably help sell the house. Sorry, go ahead, Roberta.
Yeah, the park. Selling the
Mm,
house. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and one of the things I think we all forget is in real life, if if you're my realtor, Ed, and you had that house listed, I would say, hey, what would I ask? Whose schools are connected? If I had kids, I don't. So
yeah,
I'm not asking about the tot lot. So if you're selling a 2-bed, 2-bath condo, you could probably skip over it. But if you are, what's it close to? What do people in a 2-bed, 2-bath condo want to know? Where's the coffee shop? Where's the gym? Is there public
yeah,
transportation close by? Depending on where you live, right? Like,
yep,
what would I ask you if I was looking for that particular house? And you just answer the questions that somebody would ask. Is it
exactly.
FHA approved as a condo? No, this condo is not FHA approved. This is a conventional cash only. If you need an FHA, call me. I'll find you one. Whatever it is,
Right.
Yep.
because you talk about it anyway. Like Daphne with the Bitcoin, when she gets a little bit in her own head, and I'm not saying anything about Daphne because I do too, but she'll call and ask me, "Hey, I want to talk about this," and I'm chewing my own head. Can what do you want to know about this? And
Right.
sometimes I'm like, exactly what you're saying, and other times I'm like, Daph, I love you, but I don't give a shit about that.
Right.
I want to know this. And it just
Right.
help you get out of your own thoughts. Like if Ed, the video guy, as your customer, your video should be, what do I want to know about video? And some of that is what you just said. What is this first simplest step to get me toward this
Yes.
habit? And you say, hey, y'all, turn on your phone. It sounds stupid, but it's not. Like
Right.
that simplest first thing, or that question that they would ask, is there a park? Because my kids like to ride their bike. I'm at 123 Main. It's 2,300 square feet. We got 3 beds, 2 beds, and there's a park for your kids right across the street. That's it.
Sold.
Yes.
Because I got
So
a 5 and a 6-year-old, and I can walk them right across there. It's not killing me. It's
Yes.
not a trip.
yeah,
Yes.
It's put the jackets on, walk them across the
yeah.
street, have a seat, and they run, and then I bring them home.
Or the opposite. My husband and I would be like, kid park across the street.
I was just
Yikes.
gonna say, yes,
Don't show us that house.
yeah. And
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
perfect, right? Because I'm so glad you brought that up because that's the beauty is that it's attracting as well as repelling the people that you want,
Right.
right? Like
yes.
that specific location is not going to be a fit for you, but it's a fit for you. And a lot of agents too who are listening to this, think about this for a second. These questions don't have to come before, let's say, the open house. If you're at the open house and you're actively listening and taking notes, you're going to hear these questions come up in the conversations and then record your videos afterwards.
Yeah.
So if you know that, Susie was super interested in that kitchen and she was on the fence about buying this house and she had to go look at 2 or 3 other places. Well, what are you going to do at the end of your showing? Susie's already left. All your people are gone. You're going to go record a video and you could use it, Susie's name, if you want it to just be specific to her. But if you also knew that there was a few other people that liked that kitchen, then keep it general and just record a quick video saying, hey, I know that you really loved this kitchen and I just wanted to show it to you one last time. And also, did you notice this Sub-Zero fridge? Like, how awesome is this? And you pull out the drawer and you show it to them. Anyway, I hope the rest of your day went well. It was great meeting you. And I hope that the other showings were a hit for you. Whatever you want, right? How
Right.
cool is that to then text that to your prospective buyer and they get that and they're like, whoa, I totally forgot about Ed,
That
who was
fridge.
at 123 Maple Street and that kitchen because I just saw 2 other ones and these people were fighting over, getting in the house and it was just a crazy mess. But now they're reminded and they're like, "Oh yeah, I did like that kitchen." So they forget the other 2 houses that they saw. So
Yeah.
again, it's staying top of mind and being able to use the video to your advantage and being able to share those moments right then and there. And as you can see, if you're watching this, I had my dog in the background who was getting himself comfortable. Like, that's real life and that's what happens.
Yes. And my husband's phone just went off in the living room.
Well, real life is I think no, I know. That's why live works.
Yes.
Even to the point where your kid will run through, or they'll reach, give me the baby.
Yes.
And I know a guy, I know he's selling a lot of stuff because when the baby gets fussy, he'll tell his wife, give me the baby. And the baby quiets down, and that melts women.
Yeah.
The baby quiets down and just stares at the screen, and he talks sweet to the baby, and then he goes back to talking about what he was talking about.
I love
So,
it.
what book are you selling? What are you selling? Because I want to give you some money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I want that T-shirt because you're a guy that's just, yeah, integrate the kids right in. Have a seat here,
Yeah.
hun. Baby
It's
quiets
huge.
down. Yeah, because the baby wants, again, you step into someone's life, and we all
Mhm.
are voyeurs, and we want to do that. That's why
Oh, yeah.
podcasting works. It's like listening. You like listening in or other folks' conversations.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing there is it has to be real because it might take them a minute, but people can tell when you're faking it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And then you'll lose them.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But this, yeah, the one, because it even strikes me, and I know the guy that
Oh,
that's real. He just hand me the baby, because you hear the baby in the background.
yeah.
They're in an apartment. We all got virtual, but we're actually you're
In
now
our houses
people.
or at the office or
Yeah,
something.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Give me the
sure.
baby, so I can go on to finish teaching this class, because she's not having it right now.
And that ties in the education, the entertainment, and emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 3 E's that really help you with your videos. And if you can hit all of those, great. Don't try to, strive for all of those because it can be challenging.
Right.
But if you can hit all 3 of those, awesome. And then I always throw in a 4th one, which is engagement. Listen, I'm all about having conversations with everyone, and especially those who are watching the replay or even listening to this replay. Like, have a conversation with us. If there's comments down below, connect with us. Like, talk with us on this conversation. Join it. Like, that's the whole point. We're on social media and we're here to either start or join a conversation. I mean, that's really what your marketing efforts are in
Mhm.
general. So don't just sit by and let it pass you by. Like, get into the conversation with us even after the live is over, so that way you can be part of it. But also, here's a little sneaky free advertising for yourself. When you comment, you're 1 click away from someone seeing who you are and what you do. So
Yes.
so if you're out there stressing about, like, gosh, I don't know where I'm going to get my next client, I don't know who's going to see me and want to call me, well, start engaging on people's posts. Don't be spammy and say, buy from me. I'm an
Ugh.
agent, buy from me. No, leave a comment, talk about, gosh, yes, Roberta, I am the same. I don't have kids, so the park wouldn't be the best spot for me. But that kitchen that Ed mentioned, now that's a spot I could use. I can't
Right.
wait to find my next home.
Right.
Ding, ding, ding. Then an agent who's watching this and looks at the comments valuable as well, and then is like, hey, where are you looking? Like, depending on where they're it depends on how the conversation goes, but
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
it's all about starting or joining the conversation.
Absolutely. But and that Ed is the whole thing of putting out, like you said earlier, it can be frustrating. Like, okay, how many videos do I have to put out? How many stories do I have to, how much participation do I have to put out on whatever channel? And I get nothing back. But if you can flip it around and spend some time helping someone else out because they're feeling the same way, and I try my best. I've got to get this better on my calendar. Let me rephrase that. I will put this better on my calendar.
She
That
knew
just
it. I was already in her head. She knew it.
'Cause it's like even yours, there's you and a couple other people that I've got tagged that I need to be well more consistent. I will be well more consistent because just giving someone else that piece of energy boosts you when you're going, holy cow, nobody even looked at this. And even if it's me and not a realtor or whatever, I know a bunch of realtors, but also it's just that encouragement. I think when you're able to put that out there, even if it's, just a gift to someone like, all right, let me comment on Daphne's thing because she said something great.
Yes.
If nothing ever happens, at least I gave her encouragement and she got it.
Yeah.
And she
Exactly.
can one of these days give it back to me. I
Right.
find it also encouraging for myself. Like, I hope that was good for her. And then you know how it goes. You never give a gift without giving a gift to yourself.
Sure.
Um, but it's just a nice thing to do, especially when we're all in this world of holy cow, do I have to be Gary V, right?
Yeah. Right. You know,
We're all in the same spot with that.
I know what's helped me is to create is it an avatar or an emoji of myself?
Yep.
I took
Avatar.
time
Yep.
out to go on and create one. I have an Android. And when you can't come up with the witty, smart stuff, just sometimes the emoji doing something
Yeah.
helps. Congrats, whatever it is. Just okay. I'm here. I see you. You're doing well. But
Oh,
again, it
yeah.
comes back to not just the consistency, which is important, but give yourself some time. Just
Yes.
and and finally embrace the suck. It's okay.
Yes.
Because the first time you go live and you're gonna look back at it and it's gonna be like, whoa, that was bad. But
Hmm.
but don't let it
And
stop
it might
you.
happen for the next 50 or 100 takes,
It
by the
will.
way.
It will.
That's okay. The
Go
fact
watch
that you're
the
doing it.
first of anything that people have left their stuff up
Yeah.
that are awesome now.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
look at the first Joe Rogan, episode 1. Go look at Gary V when he was doing Wine Library and go look at the
Mhm.
first one. Camera's bad. Joe's
Yeah.
got the Christmas tree lights up and they're stoned and they don't know enough for everybody not to be stoned. So I think at some point they figured out the guy
Somebody
that
needs to
runs
be
his
intelligent
board,
here.
you can't smoke.
Yeah.
Everybody else can, but not you. Because
Right.
it's not good. He's in
Yeah.
his bedroom, and I bring that up as a podcaster. He's literally in a cheap LA apartment bedroom. He's a single guy at this time. They got one laptop between them. It's a bad camera. They've got Christmas tree lights for atmosphere.
Yeah.
You could tell none of these guys make any money. And then but
Right.
you go to episode 600 something, right? He's got the studio,
Yeah.
boom, the
Oh,
thousand
there you
dollar
go.
microphones, and he's like, okay, see, embrace the suck. It gets
Yeah.
better.
You got to give it some time,
Give it
right?
some time. Yeah.
Yes.
Gary V with the bad haircut,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
the high waisted jeans. It's you got to see it. It makes you
Yeah.
want to get out there and do better. You're like, okay, okay. See, even these guys who are just super cool now, it wasn't always that way.
Yeah. It's true. It's just about getting comfortable with yourself. That's why this year, especially, I started putting out there the hashtag video positivity movement. And
Okay.
that's to help promote, and that's free. That's just for all of us to
Oh,
understand
that's a big deal.
that we're creating positivity around
Hmm.
being on
Please.
video,
Yeah.
being comfortable with ourselves, both physically and mentally, and being able to show up even when no one else is and delivering our greatness, knowing that it's going to help somebody. Whether or not they let us know, it's
Hmm.
not what we can control. What we can
Right.
control is us showing up, delivering our information, and engaging when others are engaging with
Oh
us.
yeah. I did want to mention something before we,
Yeah,
we're getting along there. Is okay, we talked about showing up live, YouTube, not everywhere, Instagram, Facebook. Do the rules change about having a YouTube channel?
great question. So when you throw in YouTube, and I'm thinking of the majority of people that I've talked to and that are probably listening to this, YouTube and the videos that you're creating on other channels, it depends on the length of those videos. So, for example, if you're doing a show like this, absolutely put it over on YouTube. And if you want, now YouTubers might not like this, but if you want, then go and do all of the SEO enhancements to the title, the descriptions,
Mm-hmm.
the thumbnails, like
Mhm.
all of that stuff, if you want. But if you're like most people, that's probably not in your wheelhouse. That's not something you want to do. And that's probably not something that you really want to focus on in this season with doing. And that's okay. So figure out what season you're in your business and where your audience is,
Mm-hmm.
and try to have a presence on YouTube as much as possible because you're creating video. Even if you're not, you are going to create it soon. And that's a place where you can, in the meantime, just upload your videos to and figure out what to do with them later. A lot of us, we get so in the moment with, oh my gosh, I have to record the video. Then I have to have all the right lighting, the equipment, and then I have to have the topic. Then I have to have the talking points. Then I have to actually record the video. Then when I'm done, I have to edit it, or then I have to post it on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok. And then I have to go now over to YouTube and do the title and the SEO and the captions. And then I have to put a link to where my freebie is and then my paid offer. And then I have to create the thumbnail. And then I have to figure out where to share this.
I'm tired now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think
Thank
I need
you.
a
I was
cocktail.
tired. I was tired just saying that. I was like, geez, am I going to be able to stop, or are they going to cut me off? Like that's a lot. And so again, that's not what you need to worry about because you're not even creating the content. We got to create the content because once you have it, you can do all that other stuff. Or better yet, pay someone else to do all that stuff once you start making those sales from having those conversations. Because we know that conversations lead to conversions. And we know that that's going to help us grow. Now, it may be a sale, it may be an introduction, it may be a speaking gig. It's something that's going to help our business grow. And so focus on what you can and should be doing right now, which is creating video content that shows you and that allows you to share your expertise in a educational, valuable, entertaining way, and allows you to connect with your audience so that when they're ready to have a conversation with you, they can reach out and have that conversation with you.
I
That's the
think that's
key.
the perfect place to end it.
It is. It is. Want to be respectful of your time. So Ed,
Thank you.
tell our audience, our awesome audience, how they can get in contact with you and what's going
Yeah,
on.
I would love for anyone who's listening to this to engage with me over on my website. I have it's edtroxel.com, so it's just my first and last name. You'll see pretty much anywhere you go, there's a chat feature with me pointing, chat with me in the lower right-hand corner. Start a conversation with me. Tell me you saw this episode. Tell me one thing you learned from this episode. Um, you can video chat me over there, or if you're not comfortable yet, you can text or audio, but just do it and have a conversation with me. And if you need help with your video journey, let me know. I can point you in the right direction. I have free guides for you. I have a paid program that I am working with clients one-on-one in there, helping them through this whole process and making it simple. Like whatever you got, I'm here to help guide you to your success here with video.
Fantastic. Of course, we'll have all that in the show notes.
Thank you.
And this was great. I appreciate it so much, Ed.
Oh yeah, Ed.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to thanks for showing up for this episode, Ed. Thanks for showing up for the episode. Thanks to our awesome listeners out there for showing up on this episode. And I want you guys to have a prosperous day. Bye bye now.